Welcome everybody to the Motivate Podcast Show. I'm your host, Rich Wall Street Williams, and at the Motivate Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more. Listen, man, we are launching off this conversation this month, and we're dealing with how we think because the way that we think matters in life. Listen, understand this, friend, that we don't see the world as it is. We see the world through the lens of our experiences. So we don't really see the world as it is. We see the world as we are, if that makes sense. And so we want to go through so the way that we think and processing thoughts and having what are right thoughts and wrong thoughts and how do I build a healthy thought life. And also, professionally that may is mental health awareness. And I am going to reach out to some of our mental health friends and see if I get some mental health experts or therapists on this call on or be to be a part of this conversation because the way that we think matters. I wrote this down a few months ago when we were doing a show on vision, and I wrote this down and I said expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. Expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking. So that phrase came after a phrase that I said just prior to that, and that phrase that led up to expectations are in the rhythm of our thinking is that we don't get what we want in life, we get what we expect in life. We don't get what we want in life, we get what we expect in life. So if I want a better marriage, then I have to look at what are my expectations for my marriage. If I want a better career or success in my career, then I have to drill down and go below the surface and take a look. What really are my expectations as relates to my career? So our expectations are hidden, right, in the rhythm of our thinking. So if expectations are hidden in the rhythm of our thinking, then it makes sense for us to have a conversation on the power of thinking. There's a book out by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. I took it literally because my name is Rich Williams, and I said think and grow rich. I made it personal. So the way that a person, when I say man, I mean mankind, but the way that a person thinks has a lot to do with the way that they live. Look at your life right now. Look at whatever is presently in your life. Whatever is presently in your life, it is the result of the way that you thought, the way that you acted, and what you believed in the past. Whatever is presently in my life, it is a result of the way that I thought, felt, and acted. Whatever is presently in our lives, it is a result of the way that we thought, the way that we felt, and the way that we acted, inconsistent with the way that we thought and we felt. Understand this, some thoughts aren't yours. Some thoughts you don't have to take ownership over. If a thought hits my head, and sometimes a thought hits my head, you don't deserve success. You don't deserve a six-figure lifestyle. Sometimes that thought hits my head. Guess what I do? I realize and recognize that's not a thought that's for me. That's not for me to take ownership on. That's not for me to embrace. My name is Richard P. Williams Jr. The P stands for Paul. Now you know my full name, Richard Paul Williams Jr. I was having a conversation with the person, and someone said, "Hey, you call me by my whole government name." They refer to it as a government name. Then I asked them, "Did the government name you, or did your parents?" My parents. So how is it a government name? Okay, I digress slightly, but you get the point of what I'm saying. That whatever is presently in my life, friend, whatever is presently in my life, it is the result of the way that I thought, the way that I felt, and how I acted in line with the way that I thought and felt. Now, you can change the way that you think. You can change the way that you feel. You can change. Let me say this: you can change the way that you feel. You can change the way that you act by simply changing the way that you think. So I'm saying, I'm repeating this because I want this to sink into you, right? So the way that I think and feel and behave, it's in my life today. So when I look around me and I don't like what I see, I don't like my environment, then I got to take a close look at the way that I think, feel, and how I'm acting. Now, I am not making an excuse for a person that may be in some type of abusive relationship. In no way am I alluding to saying that that relationship, that abusive relationship, that you deserve it. That's far from what I'm saying right now. Right? I am not saying that right now. But what I am saying is I have to take a look at the way that I think and feel and how I act and as it relates to the way that I think and feel. Now, I read a scripture in the Bible, 3rd John, verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in health, even as your soul prosper. Beloved, right? The Apostle Paul, John is writing in John, 3rd John, verse 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prosper. So what that does for me, it says, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in good health. And it says, even as, even as your soul prospers. So my lifestyle, my environment that I live in, the level of my success, the level of my experiences, right? It is not going to go beyond, or my increase is not going to go beyond the limitations, the ceilings, or the status of my soul. I have to be healthy emotionally. I have to be healthy in my thinking, right? And as I work on becoming better on the inside first, on the outside, I become bigger. You got to become better on the inside so that you become bigger, or people around you make a demand that you become bigger on the outside. So, what does it mean to think right? So, thinking right simply means that I understand that there is a process, right? Thinking right simply means that I understand that there is a healthy way of thinking, right? It means focusing on good and not dwelling on the bad. That's thinking right. When we think positively, we attract positive outcomes and experiences in life. We attract positive outcome and situations in life. So that means that I got to make a decision now. I have to make a decision now to choose to think positively. Some thoughts, friend, that come your way, some thoughts that come my way, they are not for you. They are not for me. Some thoughts that come your way. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, it happens to me. I don't know if it happens in your home. My wife will cook a wonderful meal, spread it out, and I feel like I can eat everything that's on that table, man. Everything that's on the table. I feel like I can eat everything on the table. It's just a feeling. And that thought is not for me because I can't eat everything that's on the table. So now think about this. One way to think positively, to start framing the way that we think, is having an attitude of gratitude. I am thankful and grateful for, and you express whatever it is that you want, right? Um, shift our attention. Shift your attention from problems and onto good things. Now, again, I'm not making light of someone that unfortunately may be in a challenging, bad situation. Listen, you could be in a bad employment situation. You could be working for a boss who doesn't understand the value of emotional intelligence, and he or she, it doesn't display empathy, and is self-centered and self-serving. That's not a situation that I'm going to focus my attention and time on. I've been in situations where bosses, managers, owners that I've worked that I reported to weren't very emotionally intelligent, right? And so now I make a choice: is this the right environment for me? But so by shifting my thinking and not focusing in on how horrible my job is, on how horrible the boss is, I'm going to find something to be thankful for. So you got to have an attitude of gratitude, right? Get a gratitude journal. Something as simple as this, where you can write in it every day when you get up certain things that you're thankful for. Like when I wake up in the morning before my feet hit the hit the floor, I go through a process of thanksgiving. I first thank God that I have life and breath in my body. I thank God that I woke up to a home that's peaceful. I'm thanking him for it. I'm thanking him that I have a beautiful wife and a marriage of almost 34 years, and we've been together for 35 and a half years, right? I'm thankful that I have my children are healthy and they're progressive and they're innovative and they're creative and they're doing well in the job market. See, I start my day with an attitude of gratitude. So then throughout the day, when life happens, and let me tell you something, friend, life doesn't care about you. Life doesn't care about me. When I say life, I'm talking about the unfortunate things that happen in life. It's going to show up. It's not if, it's when it shows up. That was one time I had a coworker come into work and they was like, oh, they was like complaining, got up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm like, go home and get up on the other side of the bed and then come back, right? That we're focusing in on how we should think. Another way to think positively is by visualizing your success. Go to the end of December, go to the end of this year, December 31st, 2023. What does it look like? Visualize you accomplishing your goals. Visualize the thing that you want. You gotta verbalize, internalize, visualize until it materialize. You gotta verbalize, internalize, right? Visualize until it materialize. But you gotta have a vision for your success. What does success look like for you? I'm not talking about assets and money. I'm talking about just in our thinking. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers, your intellect, your emotions, all that. Is it prospering? Are you healthy in your thinking? Create a sense of excitement and motivation. Vision creates a sense of excitement and motivation. Vision moves us forward. Vision is forward. It's forward progression towards a worthy goal and or an idea. It's also important to understand that we need to surround ourselves with positive influences. Who's in your village? Who's your village? There's an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. Who's in your village? Right? Who are the people that are applauding you? Who are the people that are cheering you on? You can do it. You can make it, friend. Sometimes you have to get away from people that have your problems and you got to hang with people that have your answers. Pastor Mike, the senior pastor of Spirit of Faith Christian Center, which is now Faith Central City. I'm so excited for the name change. Listen, if you're within a 300-mile radius, if you're within a 300-mile radius, if you are within a 300-mile radius of the DC metro area, man, listen, I want you to be my special guest and come on in and join me at church. And we have an 8 a.m. service in Temple Hills, Maryland. We have a 10 a.m. service in Brandywine, Maryland. And we, at the same time, we have a 10 a.m. service in the Baltimore, Maryland area. So come by and check us out. But Pastor Mike says you got to get away from people that have your problems. And you got to hang with people that have your answers. So finally, friend, by focusing on positively, practicing gratitude, visualizing success, surrounding ourselves with positive influences, friend, we can change our mindset and we can begin to attract positive outcomes into our life. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So we got to look at the way that we think. We got to look at the way that we feel, And then we got to check our actions. More on this later this month. Hey, listen, man, I'm Rich Wall Street Williams from the Motivate Podcast Show. The Motivate Podcast Show, we always say less, and we definitely want to believe for more. Let's get it.